What's going on, everybody? I'm Selna Kim, and I actually just got back from Mexico. As you can see, my skin's probably a little bit tanner than usual. So I'm assuming that you guys missed my eyes and my smile. So I had to come back and make a video for you guys, and this one's going to be an absolute banger. So let's jump right into it. It is the most powerful technique any man can have, and all women will notice you if you can do this. And I'm not going to wait till the end of the video to tell you guys. This is what the technique is right here. It's self-powered silence, right? It's almost like you're able to control when you go silent and when you're active, right? Very, very powerful tool, since most people are telling you, oh, do more, chase the girl more. And instead, if you could be silent, it's a very powerful tool. But let me explain why. But just so you know that this can be good, this can be used for good and very bad things. So I'm trusting you that you use it for good, of course, with a little wink. But let's jump right into why this is so powerful and how to actually use this. Because yeah, you could know the technique right here, but if you don't know how to actually use it and apply it, then it's not going to matter. As they say, knowledge is only potential power, right? So many people say knowledge is power. Knowledge is only potential power. It only becomes power when you actually apply it. So let's jump right into this, right? First is that this is a very misunderstood topic here. This doesn't mean ignore the girl, right? It doesn't mean just go cold and, when she takes 2 hours long to reply to your text, you suddenly take 2 more hours to reply to her text. That's not what this means, right? That is very D rank advice right there. I want to give you guys the S rank advice, the stuff that's actually going to work here. It's about making a strategic choice to pull back at the right time. It's about making a choice to do less when everyone is doing more. It's a point about doing less to become more of a mystery, which I will explain as we go along, because it won't make sense until you learn what the key topics are of this video, right? It's making the choice to do less when everyone is doing more. And the most powerful move you can make is silence a lot of the time, doing nothing a lot of the time. For example, picture somebody at a party, right? And he's like the party animal. So many guys are trying to be the party animal at the party, the Mr. Social guy. But instead, a lot of the times now, it's like if you just pull back and do nothing, the girl a lot of the time is going to come to you now, because it's so unique. Instead of having someone who's trying hard for attention, to have a guy who's kind of pulled back and he's confident by just doing nothing. He's like, I don't need you. I don't need to talk to people to feel good about myself. I don't need to seek that validation. It's like if you're a super social guy, great, right? But if you're not, you don't have to. Use your strengths, right? Use what you're good at. So many guys are told that in order to get the girl, you have to do more, right? That's like simple dating advice they try to give you guys. For example, be the life of the party, show more interest, be the strongest guy in the gym, etc. And some of that stuff is partially true, right? You guys have to take action in order to fix this stuff. But you have to make a move on the girl, right? Because women are naturally gatherers and men are naturally hunters, right? So you have to make some sort of move. But most guys just do it way too much. And this video might remind you a lot of a Sigma male, right? You guys have been asking me a lot about a Sigma male lately. Literally, you guys talk about on my Instagram and my TikTok, you guys call me a Sigma male. I don't know if I classify myself as one, but you guys call me that, which is quite interesting. But this is going to remind you of a Sigma male, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is go silent and do nothing, as I've already told you guys. What does that show to others when you're silent, right? Think about what it tells others when you're just silent. You don't have to respond to something. You don't have to do something if you don't want to do something. That's power right there. Knowing that you don't have to do something. You don't have to respond to anything. You don't have to react. Silence a lot of the time shows confidence. And let me explain why. There's 3 traits that makes a silent man just so lethal, so powerful, and especially so attractive. What are those three key traits? Excuse me. Number 1 is that quiet men are able to analyze things way deeper than most people, right? They're very calculated and great at timing. And this is what makes somebody very, very attractive, right? And obviously, too much of something is always a bad thing, right? So you want to learn the balance with this stuff. But they think very deeply about things to the point where most people couldn't understand it to that level, because they're so in their head, which a lot of times people tell you is a bad thing. But silent people actually use this to their strengths, because when you're thinking about something to such a deep level, you're able to understand it to a point where most people just can't understand it to the level that you're understanding it. And a man who is able to be controlled is not an attractive man to women. What does that mean, right? A man who is able to be controlled is not an attractive man to women. Let's say that a man is like, oh, like, do this, I want you to do this, and then he suddenly just goes and does it, right? Like the guy, like at the party, we're just like, oh, dude, do another shot, do another shot. And it's like you're controlling him because he's trying to please you and entertain you. Women don't want the man that is easily controlled. They want a man that is able to be confident in his own skin, stand for what he believes in, and doesn't, he doesn't do what he does to please other people. He does it for himself, which sounds selfish. But a lot of times you guys have to be selfish in order to fix the things that are going wrong in your life in order for you to help other people down the road. Confidence is silent. Insecurities are loud. Remember, that's one of my favorite quotes someone ever said. Confidence is silent. Insecurities are loud. Think about the loudest guy at the party, right? The biggest guy making all these noises in the gym. Think about that. Big muscles doesn't mean you're confident. A lot of times it can actually mean you're more insecure. That's what they talk about with money too. Money only amplifies who you are. After I started making really, really good money with the business of coaching guys on dating, like it only amplified who I was. So it actually showed me weaknesses I had about myself that I had to fix in order to become the man that I really needed to be in order to reach the goals that I really wanted to reach. Quite fascinating stuff. Confidence isn't, I'll make them like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. One of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite tweets. I believe I made that actually. Number 2 is that they're used to being alone. They're used to being alone. You don't need constant conversations to feel good or seek validation from somebody, right? It shows that you're very comfortable with being isolated. This was a huge strategy for me, being able to hold back and do nothing. Because a lot of the times, like, I'd be in the club and instead of going and approaching that girl, I would simply just sit there and let them come to me by having a great time by myself and being isolated, right? It showed that I don't have to be with a girl or be with my friends in order to have a good time. That's why I challenge you guys a lot of the times to try something new, right? Go to the movies by yourself. Go out and take yourself on like a self date. Invest in a program, let's say, and actually do something for your self growth that's out of your comfort zone. Because it actually makes you more of an attractive man long term by acquiring these skills. A lot of girls would come to me, right? A lot of girls would come to me because I wasn't coming to them. And I was kind of just like, you know what? Like, I'm fine with being alone. I'm fine with being isolated. I was isolated for, the majority of my life growing up after my parents divorced because I was staying in the shelter and it sucked. But I got used to isolation early to where it's like, I don't need other people to make me happy, right? I'm happy by myself. I can entertain myself. And it shows strength because you're fine with tension. Being alone and going silent is tension to a girl. And you can actually use that to your advantage when she's talking to you. And you kind of pull back. And if she continues the conversation, it means she's actually interested in you. Fun fact. Silence is tension for girls, which equals attraction if you can bask in it. If you kind of just sit there and just take the tension and handle the silence like a man. Number 3, it shows that you are intelligent. They say that the smartest guy in the room is the one who speaks last when everyone else is trying to talk first. It makes what you do say so much more powerful, right? Makes what you do say so much more powerful because you're not saying and you're not blabbing your mouth like a chihuahua. What you say has impact. People become so curious as to why you haven't spoken, which creates attraction. They have super calculated moves because they're in their heads thinking about strategies as we talked about earlier. And they're able to understand people in better detail too, which helps you actually get women. There was a guy I used to know, super loud guy in the gym. And he was actually one of my good friends until he kind of like sided with this guy that I found out was, my girlfriend was cheating on me with this guy and he kind of sided with them. But he was always, when I was dating that girl before she cheated on me, she had a really good friend named Gabby. And he was always, when he was around her, trying to, drink more and trying to impress her and do all these crazy things like, going to the dance floor when a song would come on, just go crazy on the dance floor because she's there and he's trying to like impress her by being the guy that's like the life of the party or like the alpha male, I guess you could say. And, he kept asking me, he's like, why won't you consider me? Why won't you go on a date with me? And eventually she just got to the point where she was like, look, like, you're a really nice guy. I can tell that. You're a really cool guy. But I just don't think you know that. Because you're trying so hard to like not be you. You're trying to be someone that you're not. And when I heard her say that to him, I was like, damn, that sucks for him. But at the same time, I was like, damn, that's really actually deep right there. She said, I know that you're a cool, nice guy, but you don't know that. And I was like, holy shit, that's so wild. Right? And that's one of the things that that girl at the time, she was like, hey, I'm actually more attracted to this kind of guy he doesn't have to try hard. He doesn't have to seek attention. I found that story just, so fascinating. And the last part about this is that silence makes women open up. And this is the most important piece of this video right here. So pay attention to this. Is that when you pull back, she wants to fill that space with talking. Right? When you pull back when she's talking, you're having a great conversation, you kind of pull back, you just kind of sit there and bask in the tension. She's going to fill that with talking if she likes you. This makes you look like a mystery, which is what really builds attraction. And a woman who is sharing with you is a woman who is falling for you, right? And I'm not talking about sharing money. I'm talking about sharing her emotions, sharing her personal stories. That's when she's falling for you. And when you're constantly in her face trying to get her attention, she doesn't feel that desire to share with you. Don't erupt, and here's a quick tip, don't erupt her phone with texts. Keeping it short and playful versus telling her your entire day, right? Instead of telling her like, oh, I did this today, I did that today, I did this day, and you're just like, oh yeah, baby, it was a challenging day, but nothing that daddy can't handle. And remember this is the most important part. Millionaires don't have to say he's a millionaire. And so, a quick note too, before we wrap up, these are some guys in my program. A lot of you guys have been asking me about my program and kind of what it costs and what the investment is. So my current program price, is $3,500, and we actually just partnered with a company called Affirm that lets you break that up to $500 a month. Even I think for some cases like $250 or like $300 a month, and then also there was one that was $120 per month. And I think there's some interest tacked on like the more, lower you go. But hey, you know what? Like I think it's a great opportunity for you guys that may not have like $3,500 up front, but you can actually break it down to work with me and my team if you guys are actually interested in attracting a quality girl, just like Wild William did and Sam in my program. Like they both started completely, shy, and they make really great money, but they were having a problem getting friend zoned. And it's like, if you're the guys having a problem getting friend zoned, or you can't really get the girl that you want and the girls that you know you deserve, hey, DM me and let's set it up and let's get you going in the program. It's a really great deal. And I wanted to offer you guys that on my YouTube. And so if you want to do that, great. Send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook and let's get it cranking. The link is in the description below. Just say like, I'm in, or something like that. And we can talk about it, break down your questions, X, Y, Z. But also make sure to like, subscribe, and then comment down below what you guys want to hear more about. I'm Selna Kim, America's Face of Dating, and I'll see your cute face next time.